the new perspective.
New perspective.
That's a shift in perspective you have.
A new perspective.
That's the new perspective.
Welcome back to the new perspective and happy New Year to everybody. How are you doing, man? Are you excited?
What's good? I'm doing great. I'm excited. Just came off COVID, so excited to be here, though.
I'm so excited to have you on the podcast, Matthew. I know you have a great message to share based off of all of the words of wisdom that you give on your TikTok.
Yeah.
Like, I love watching your
For
TikToks.
sure.
And I know a lot of you guys listening will learn so much from this guy.
Yeah, we just hit
So, I'm
200K too,
excited.
so.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Congratulations, man. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm curious, when did you first start posting on TikTok?
I would say my first post was like beginning of last summer or this summer, last summer. So probably in like
Oh,
June.
wow.
But I started posting and I wasn't getting views and I was kind of like, all right, this is kind of stupid. But then I realized just like if I just kept posting, I would gain more traction. So I just posted regardless of the views, and then I started growing, and it took about like 4 months
Wow.
to get to like 100K.
That's amazing. You grew extremely fast. I thought you were gonna say something like 2 years or something.
Oh yeah, I mean I was at one point where it was probably like 70K new followers in like 2 days. So TikTok's
Oh my
all
God.
about exponential growth, and sometimes you won't grow at all.
Yeah.
So
That's impressive. I didn't even realize. Like, what was your intention when you made your TikTok? Like, what made you want to start sharing your message?
yeah, 100%. It was all just wanting to share everything I've learned, and I was kind of on this self-improvement thing, and I just realized that my purpose is to help other people, and because that's the real fulfillment. I think a lot of people think that money is the real fulfillment. That's what brings happiness, but it's not. I mean, when you have money, your emotions are they're going to be the same, you know? You're still going to have those emotional swings. You're not just going to be happy. Like, that's not realistic. So the real fulfillment comes through helping people and feeling the love, basically.
Definitely. Like, I have realized that my passion as well is just helping people. And I think, like, when you are on your own, like, path of self-improvement, you kind of feel like obligated. Like, I really need to get this message out there, you know?
Yeah. Like, you feel so good yourself. You have to spread
Yeah.
it to other people and other
Exactly.
generations
Like,
too.
it's so admirable. Like, I love that you do that. How did you figure out that that was your purpose? Because I feel a lot of people have a hard time figuring out, like, what their purpose is, what their passion is, what will bring them the most fulfillment. So, like, how did you
I
figure that out?
I think I was just so obsessed with the self-improvement and knowledge that I realized that, you know, just helping myself is not going to be, it's going to end quickly, basically. Like, I need to find a way where I can, spread this to other people. And that was where the fulfillment came in. And so that was it, basically just wanting something other than myself, you know, wanting a different feeling. But it really is hard to explain how it came to me. It was kind of out of nowhere.
I think that happens a lot. Like, we figure out what we want to do, figure out what our passions are in the most weird, unexpected ways. Like, me telling myself, like, a couple years ago that I would be, like, helping people, posting on social media, etc. Like, she would have never guessed
Yeah.
that, you know? It kind of just comes at random times. And that's a big thing. What I've realized is, like, I think anyone who's kind of on that self-improvement journey, it's like you first have to heal yourself and you heal others. It's kind of just like that cycle. It's how it goes. And the more that you learn about yourself and grow, the more you'll want to help
Yeah.
others. And it's just kind of like the next step in
And
that process.
I definitely believe in karma, and if you help other people,
Mhm.
it's just gonna help you, I think. Um, Another thing I believe is if you're giving money to other people, it will come right back to you. It's just a law of the universe.
Mhm.
It's, you know, everything comes back to you.
I like that. Yeah, I heard this great quote recently. I think it was in like a book I was reading or something, but it's universe will treat you the way you
Yeah,
treat
exactly.
others. And it's very important. It's like that golden rule, right?
Yeah.
Like how you treat others the way you want to be treated, but like this is actually how you will be treated, because we attract events and situations based off of an energetic level. So if we're giving love and helping others, we're holding this energy of
Yeah.
giving and love and
And those are the
appreciation.
highest energetic states. So that's why it's important to have a good vibe.
Mhm. Yes, exactly. Because the world is a mirror to yourself. And it's cool. You should like test this out, experiment with it. But just notice how your energy affects the world and situations.
Yeah.
The people around you's energy.
It is important because when you're spreading your good vibrations to other people, the world just gets better. It's just a better place. So
Yeah, it's a domino effect, definitely. But like, how does it feel? Like, how did it feel when you realized how much you were positively impacting all of these people's lives?
yeah, I didn't even realize that first because, I was literally posting every hour of the day
Every hour?
until like
Every single hour?
probably from like 12 to 8 p.m.
Oh my
I was putting
god.
out that much content. And
Jesus
so
Christ.
I wasn't really looking at the comments until like recently. And people would DM me too and be like, you've helped me so much. And it feels great, It's greater than money. People have actually they're like, "Yo, what's your Venmo? You're doing better than my
Really? Oh,
um I don't know, what do you call it? My advisor or something.
therapist?
Therapist, sorry. And I'm like, "Nah, I don't you don't need to do that, And it's just what I give out comes back to me." So,
Yeah, that's amazing. Like, it's an incredible feeling being able to impact so many lives, and it will definitely come back to you in many
yeah,
ways.
for sure.
Okay, so we are recording during the beginning of the new year. I feel like we should address this 2022. So I'm curious, what are your intentions and goals for the new year?
It's a good question. My biggest goal is 1 million followers. That's just my biggest
Cool.
goal. Also start on YouTube a little bit maybe, but I would need
Okay.
this
Like this
year.
year?
But I'm looking into like microphones and cameras and stuff. But the biggest goal is 1 million followers, and I'm sure I'll get that.
Wow.
It's only a matter of time.
Yeah. Well, that's amazing. The big goals. I love it. Like, a lot of people in the beginning of the new year, they lose that initial flame. Like it just dies out throughout the year. So what has helped you like stay consistent with your goals over the recent years?
Well, I would say first you have to celebrate the small things. I think I celebrated 10K followers, and that motivates you. I think celebrating your small wins is a big part. So maybe if your goal is to hit the gym more and you do it for a week straight, pat yourself on the back. That's a good job. But you got to notice that consistency and discipline are key. So if you don't have those two, you're not going to really grow and make a difference. So you really have to want it for yourself, I think. And I really want it for myself. I really want, my my other goal is just not working 9 to 5. I think that is just disgusting, and
Yeah.
I can't see myself there. So I have to keep pushing.
Definitely. Like, I think a lot of people share that same mentality, and I think a lot of people that do lose that consistency, they don't want it enough, right? Like, I
Yeah.
think if you are on that path of really not wanting to be, I guess, like a slave to the system, right? Doing the
Yeah.
9 to 5, doing the classic thing that
Yeah.
everybody's
It's not
doing.
living. It's not living. It's just,
Mm,
we're here to
yeah.
experience life, not be trapped like that and be
Mhm.
chained to money and materialistic stuff. It's just not how we're supposed to live.
Yeah, there's so much more to life. Like, think about it. How much of your life are you really spending at that pointless job that you hate?
Yeah. And that brings me back to like presence. Have you ever read the book Power of Now?
I haven't, but
It's one of the
people
best books.
recommended it to me. I haven't
It's
read it
probably my
yet.
favorite book, I would say. And just being present, not looking too far ahead into the future. Like you really have to be present with your goals. Just build one brick at a time, one brick every day, and you're gonna have a wall pretty soon.
Yeah, I think a lot of the times that big finale, that final destination, like intimidates people. They're like, "Oh, I can never get that. Like,
Yeah.
that's crazy. That's so far out of reach." But the biggest thing is just having, like, I always do week goals. I have my goals for the week that I want to hit. You can do month goals. Just start with these small little steps and celebrate each win, because every day you're growing. Every day you get closer, and let's focus on those small goals in between.
Yeah, I heard a quote once, and it was, I don't remember it specifically, but it was like, stop waiting for every light to be green, and just because the light in front of you is green, just go through that light first. Not every light in front of you has to be green.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, like that. So it's not like people don't need every single little thing has to be
Yeah,
perfectly
it doesn't have
set
to be
up for
perfect for you
them.
to start and take action.
Yeah. I heard this quote. What was it? It was really good. It was, what was it? I don't know, but it's basically was this overall talking about how start now.
Yeah, you'll figure it out on the way.
Exactly. That's it. I think a lot of the times our goals will alter the more we progress, and different little things will change, and we'll figure things out. Like, as long as you start taking the steps, everything else will come.
Yeah, it's a matter of action and knowing what you want for yourself and not giving a fuck what people think of you.
Yes. Oh my god. I feel like a lot of people who have, like, bigger goals. I don't like calling them dreams, but to the average person, it would be like a dream. Like, they have these big goals, and when you talk about it to, I guess, people who are closed-minded, they judge it and want to come down on you. And if you are going on this route of self-improvement, of reaching that destination for yourself, like, literally can't other people's opinions affect
Yeah,
you. You can't. You have to throw that
yeah,
away,
I agree.
like, as soon as possible.
I had another quote. What was it? It'll come back to me. But another thing I was going to talk about is vision. I think. Oh yeah, the quote. Sorry, what the quote was: you can't talk about big goals around small-minded people because they'll just bring you down.
Yeah.
They can't see what you see. So a lot of it has to be in your own head. You can't really rely on other people because they're not going to see what you see.
Definitely. And you can build, like, the best thing to do is build a community of people who are open-minded, who
Yeah.
resonate with you. Like, I think these people will naturally be attracted to you if you keep putting out like who you are, what you stand for. But
Yes, I am a big believer in attracting and not chasing. I
mm,
think too many people in this generation are chasing, and you cannot chase. It's a law. If you chase, you're just bringing the wrong people into your life. One of the best people I've brought into my life, I've completely attracted, hands off. I've
yeah.
just focused on myself, focused on my goals, and they came into my life because they had the same goals. And those
Yeah,
are the
see,
best people in your life.
definitely. You attract the right people at the right times, and that taps into like a lot of the law of attraction. And I think a lot of people who maybe in the spiritual community or are on that self-development route like tap into that law of attraction, right? Rather than grind, hustle, like,
Yeah,
like, yes, be disciplined,
yeah.
but a lot of it, you don't need to do all of that.
And let's talk about what the law of attraction is for people that don't really know
Yeah.
what it is. You know, it's
Mhm.
everything is energy, right? So if you are the energy that you want to be, you will attract it because that energy exists in the quantum field, and you will align with it if you're the same energy.
Yeah,
And you can
exactly.
elaborate on
And
that
like,
too.
yeah, it's just saying like you have to be, I like saying a lot of the times being aligned with the person who has already got what you
Yeah.
wanted. It's like, how are you going to change your personal reality without changing your
Mm-hmm.
personality? Like, you have to elevate yourself to what you want to get it. And there's a lot of practices like visualization, meditation that get rid of a lot of the
Yeah.
self-limiting beliefs that we have, because to get what we are wanting, we have to get rid of the walls and belief systems that are limiting us and preventing
Mm-hmm.
us from getting that. And when you do, like, I visualize every single morning, like in the first few minutes after I wake up, and it's just changing. Your mind cannot tell the difference between something that you imagine
Yeah.
and something
Yeah.
that is a memory. If you imagine it vividly enough, your mind cannot tell the difference between if that actually happened or if it didn't. So the more that you're doing this, you're rewiring and installing this little idea into your subconscious mind that is going to
Mm-hmm.
bring that reality to you.
And yeah, it's also important to have that vision. If you don't have a clear vision, your mind has no idea where to go. So if you can have that clear vision, like I have a vision board. I I think people should make a vision board.
Yes, I do
Um,
too.
you can see exactly what you want, exactly where you're going. If you get in a car, an Uber, and you don't know where you're going, you're literally just gonna sit there. So,
It's a good
and
analogy.
and I think another big part of manifestation is subconscious programming because we are programmed. We are computers. I mean, the things we watch, the things we listen to, they're all getting stuck in our subconscious, and our subconscious comes up. It is our mind. So if you can program your subconscious, you can do whatever you want, and through meditation and a heightened emotional state and that vision, then you can program your subconscious.
Yeah, it's a balance, right? Like, it's not all just about action. It's also about having that clear vision. And that is something that people don't take into account very often when they think about visualization. Like, I think the taboo stigma that people have on like manifestation is just like, oh, you close your eyes, you feel it, you see it, and then you don't do anything after that. But it's really just about knowing exactly what you want. You're literally seeing your life right there. You're seeing exactly what's gonna happen.
And then I also
seeing exactly what you want.
find it funny how people get mad when their manifestations don't come true in like a couple days. You can't be waiting for it to happen. You just have to send it out into the field, and you'll know when it comes. So you can't get angry. You can't get in those low vibrational emotional states. That just destroys your manifestation.
Yeah, that does the opposite effect. Exactly. Like, I've noticed recently that I've been telling the universe to hurry. I've been in a want and need energy. I just realized that I'm just like, no, we cannot have that. That because want it's in a state of lack, you know.
Yeah.
What I really like is being excited instead of wanting.
Being excited that it has already happened.
Yeah, excitement that it's gonna happen, or just knowing that like this is already done, and I'm excited to see it revealed to me. Like that is a mindset of abundance versus want, which is just mindset of lack, right? And when you're saying like, hurry, I need this now, like coming from a state of lack, which is gonna be reflected to you in your reality.
Yep, I agree. Yeah, you can't be wanting or needing. You just have to be. You have to attract. It's not. No one knows when it's gonna come, but as long as you have your vision and you're getting 1% better with that every day, taking action, it will happen. In some time, it will happen.
Exactly.
And you have to have that thought that it will.
You have to have that faith. Like, I was watching this video today. It's Mark Houghton on YouTube. He's really cool. And he was talking about how people who have a mentality of neutrality and who are in the flow state will get their manifestations a lot faster than anyone who is chasing, needing, and manifesting from ego. Right? You want to attract your life from the flow state. From that.
I like that because I think I'm in the flow state every single day, but I don't realize it, you know. Going to the gym daily and not even thinking about like not wanting to go. I'm just going. I'm in the flow state of my manifestation, I think.
Yeah, you probably are. Like, what is the flow state to you? For people that like don't really know what it is.
I've never really like, to be honest, like felt the flow state, but I know that it's just taking action every day. I mean, so some people think flow state as in like a couple hours of just deep work where you're not, you know, really thinking too much. It just comes easily. But for me, I think it's like a long, maybe like a month's or years worth of work towards your manifestation that you didn't even think of, but you've done a lot of work and it came easy to you. So I think the flow state is kind of coming off your manifestations.
Okay, I get that. So it's like you are just flowing through it. Like you're doing all of this. You're
not really thinking.
Making
you're just
a lot
doing.
of progress. Yeah, you're just doing. That's okay. I like that. You're not really thinking. You're just doing. And then by the end of the year, you're like, whoa, get all of this.
Yeah,
get everything that I've created.
All I've done.
And it wasn't necessarily like a lot of hard work, all of this. Like you were just in that neutral.
Yeah, I think people
present.
think too much. People are overthinking about their goals. Just do it. Just get in that flow state and just start working.
Yeah.
Like I put my head down every day and just go to work. It's not, I don't know what it is, but it's just, it happens.
Mhm. Yeah, like, so thinking about it, like being all scared, having all of these emotional attachments to it, you just are unattached. You have a neutral mentality. You're taking the action,
Attachment is suffering.
visualizing. Mm.
Anything you're attached to is it anything you're attached to. So in the universe, there's ups and downs, right? Yin and yang. So you can't have something forever. It's gonna be amazing. Enjoy that, but it's gonna leave you. You can't get attached to it. I think that's a big topic.
Yes, like I think to get into that flow state, you have to practice like non-attachment.
Yeah.
And I've noticed that I've been like attached to my end goal. Like, if you are unattached, these bumps in the road, these minor setbacks, these little failures won't affect you. Won't affect you.
Yeah.
So if you are getting upset about any of this, ask yourself if you're really attached to your goal. If it is determining the way you perceive yourself. Like, if you don't have this, are you gonna feel unfulfilled?
Exactly.
Are you gonna feel
you're in
like
a state of lack?
Exactly. And like it keeps tying back, but you have to be completely okay with the present.
Yes, present. The key to it is presence. I forget. I was watching something, a TikTok, I think it was, and it was like, I forget it, but it was like if you have money, or if you want money, you'll never have money because you're in a state of lack. You're in a state of want, and if you want to be good looking, you're ugly because you're again in a state of lack, and I'm a big believer. If you think you are, then you are. If you think you're the king, you're the king. If you think you're good looking, if you think you're confident, you're gonna be that because you're gonna start acting like that, and you're programming your subconscious.
Exactly. See, it all keeps linking back, right? Like, you have to embody the person that you already want to be. You have to perceive yourself as the person that has already accomplished what you want to accomplish. And like your world will be a reflection of whatever you're saying. So you're saying, I want to be this. You're saying that you're not this.
Yeah, that's what
Like,
I was
think
trying
about
to
that.
say.
You're saying, yeah, it's like, if you want this, I need this. You're saying you don't have this right now.
Yep.
You are not this.
Yep, exactly.
Right.
People don't understand that.
Exactly. And I think not saying don't want these things. Like, obviously, yes, you do want these things, but like, you have to realize that you have to change that mentality and just fully like present and accept what you are now and not be attached to it.
And I think a lot of those emotions are of the ego. A lot of people are caught on their ego. And I love talking about the ego. Another book I recommend is Untethered Soul. It's all about the ego, all about conquering the ego. And how the little voice in your head, overthinking, anxiety, that's all your ego. That's all your past perceptions. And how you get away from that is you be the awareness of it.
We are like the observer. Tell me a bit more about the ego. Like, I'm curious.
Because everything in your world is coming from your mind. So your perceptions, your ego, past perceptions of you, it's all shaping your world. So the ego it can be really bad because it's bringing all those things up from your subconscious, and it's bringing up anxiety. Like, say you're scared of public speaking because of like one time maybe you screwed up your speech or whatever. So now the second time you go up and try to public speak, your ego will bring up what happened in your last public speaking. And even though it's you're technically a brand new person every day. And if you were just to be present, then you wouldn't have even thought those thoughts. And your ego is basically making you worry before anything even happens, which is the worst part.
Your ego isn't present. I like that. I forgot. There was a great quote. I think like Alan once said something like, you can be a new person like each 5 minutes or something, but
Yeah.
you can just remember that the story that you're telling yourself isn't who you truly
Yeah.
are. Like, if you are present, you can be whoever you want right now.
Yeah.
Nothing is defining you. And if it is, that's just operating from your ego. But right now, here in this present moment, there is nothing to define
Fear doesn't
you.
exist in the present moment. It exists in your ego and it
Yes.
exists in the future. But
Yes. Fear, like people who are suffering from anxiety, like they're living
yeah,
the future. Who may be suffering from depression or whatever, and are just suffering based off of past events, like living in the past, and this doesn't exist. Like this linear timeline doesn't actually exist. And so if you're able to, it's quite simple. Like if you're able to come back to the present,
yeah,
which
it's
is
the only thing that really exists.
Yeah, you'll stop feeling these emotions of fear and sadness and regret. Like most of these negative emotions are just stemming from you not being here in the present.
Totally agree.
And if you want to try that out, like I recommend to anyone who's struggling with these to just take some time to practice things that get you into that flow state, whether it's passion of yours like painting, drawing, making music, runs, whatever, or practicing meditation, yoga. Just figure it out for you. Maybe it's listening to that good song, but whatever, it's gonna get you back into this present
meditation
moment.
is huge, I think, because you can literally reverse your ego. You can program your mind, so your mind is programmed already from your past and people's perceptions of you. So through meditation, through a deep state of meditation, you can program your subconscious to say, I am confident, I am these things that I want to be. I'm not my ego.
Yes, you are not the ego. I think that is a huge realization that will just propel you on your journey, is realizing like you are not these thoughts. Yes. You are not these negative thoughts that are coming up. It's like, imagine, like that angel and the devil on the shoulders. Just that's how it is. Just think of these negative thoughts as, these little people. It's not you. You have the ability to observe them.
I think how I think of it is like you're sitting kind of in the back of your mind on this chair that's higher than your ego, and that's really who you are. You're not the thoughts. You just have to be the awareness and observe those thoughts, and they won't hurt you anymore, and you'll be present once you start to be aware of those thoughts. So I think that's the key.
Yeah, and through meditation can help you practice that, like, because that's what you're doing. You're actually realizing your true self during meditation because you are becoming aware of thoughts. You're no longer identifying them. And I just realized that as we're talking right now, but yeah, you're coming back to your true self, that higher
That
self.
is your soul. That is
during
your soul,
meditation.
is that awareness, that higher
Mhm.
self. That's what will
Mhm.
not die, because energy can be destroyed or created. That is your soul. It's not, it can't die, you know? It's either going to reincarnate or it's going to ascend.
Mhm. What are your opinions on that? Like reincarnation,
Yeah. It's
life
definitely a big
after
topic
death, what
that
is
I don't
it?
totally know much about,
Yeah.
but I do believe that
Mhm.
energy can't be destroyed or created. So, and we are energy. So, I think our bodies do die, but our
Right.
energy is always either reincarnating. Um, and if we got to a light enough, high enough vibration, we ascend. But I'm not totally sure if that's true. I don't.
Guess we'll just have to wait and find out.
Yeah. I mean, some people say meditation is like what death feels like. So I don't know.
Mm.
Maybe that's why people practice meditation. But for me,
Hmm.
I do meditation to clear my mind and program myself.
Mm. Yeah, a lot of people say that it's like meditation is preparation for death.
Yeah.
And I think sleep can be too. I mean, you're just not feeling, you're not in this 3D reality. So I feel like it is interesting if you come at it with that mentality. But I wanted to ask you, like, so in your meditations, like, what do you do? What practices do you
Mhm.
do to reprogram your subconscious mind? Do you visualize? Like, what do you do?
So if you're a beginner, I would go just short meditations, 10-minute meditations to just clear your mind. Watch what your thoughts, watch what your ego is bringing up, because that's really what is bothering you on a daily basis. And you don't even realize it, but that's clouding your mind. And clearing your mind is totally gonna change your world. So I think for beginners, doing those short meditations, but for me, I do deep meditations for like an hour, um, and I'll go really
Wow.
deep to where I can't even like feel my arms, but I'm still awake, and that's when you can really program your subconscious. That's when you're deep um, into your mind, and you can really, say, visualize and have that heightened emotional state, and that's when you can really manifest. And that's what I've been doing recently. But another thing I think that's really underrated, or maybe it's not, but Wim Hof breathing. If you've ever heard of it, you should
I don't
research
think
it. But
so. No.
it's basically breath work, and then pulling up basically your spinal fluid up your spine into your pineal gland, and
Oh, yeah.
it just is
Yeah, I
amazing
actually
because
have heard of that. Yeah.
it gets you really deep into meditation, and really relaxes the brain. And when I wake up, I just feel refreshed from it.
Mm. I haven't done meditations that long regularly. Like, I usually do around 30 minutes, but I should try that going really deep into it.
Yeah,
But
it's definitely something to try. It'll be hard the first couple of times, but
mhm,
just really do it where you have nothing to do that day, I think, is the key.
mhm. Yeah,
So you're not
definitely.
worrying about stuff.
Yeah. Can you elaborate more on like breathing techniques that stimulate the pineal gland? Like,
Hmm.
I think a lot of people aren't too aware of like their pineal gland and like all these breath work techniques. So I'd like
Yeah.
to hear about that more.
So, um, so the Wim Hof breath work is basically the breathing part. You're just breathing fast
Mm.
and large breaths. You're taking in tons of oxygen, and it kind of fills your cells. I'm not really sure behind the actual science of it, um, but I think Joe Dispenza has something also on the spinal
Yeah, and becoming supernatural.
Yeah, pulling up your whatever muscles those are down there, and then kind of squeezing up, and then your spinal fluid can actually move up your spine into your head. And if you hold it there, some crazy things can happen. And your pineal gland releases DMT. So, and it's a little thing in between your eyes, middle of your head, and a lot of people's pineal gland are actually calcified because they use like fluoride, and there's fluoride in our water. But I mean, that's another topic, but it really gets you deep into meditation. Bring up your spinal fluid, bring up your energy. It's also called Kundalini. Bring up that Kundalini energy from the lower centers up.
Yes, like everything that you're saying, I'm just like, yes. I talks a lot about this in some of the books I'm reading, but like, definitely try it out. I have had some crazy meditations where like my pineal gland was extremely activated. I don't know if I've talked
were your
about
eyes
it on
like
the
blinking a
podcast
bunch
yet,
when you close your eyes? Or were they kind of like vibrating, sort of?
Yeah, actually, it was like the whole world went blurry, and I feel like my eyes kind of went a bit cross-eyed, or it was interesting, but I had this extremely intense energy just pulsating from my pineal gland and all over my head. And then I got to the state where there was an intense energy all in the right hemisphere of my brain. Like, it was so strong. And the right hemisphere is like for creativity and intuition and all of that. And it was like this part of my brain was being like activated.
I think that was probably your opening your third eye. I think that's what it was. If you saw, like flashes of purple and white and stuff, I think that might have been.
Yeah, wow, okay. Like, I saw this bright light. I do see a lot of bright lights sometimes when I go into meditations, and just completely left this 3D world and went to like
That's
this
awesome.
other dimension. It was crazy, but it was amazing. It was the most amazing thing that I've like ever experienced, and I kept getting this message of focus on energy, not matter. And that's what got me deeper into it. And I wasn't controlling my body. Like, I was outside right during this. I was like in nature.
Astral projecting.
Yeah, I guess. It was incredible.
I don't know if I've ever done that, but maybe I have. I don't know. But that's why I love deep meditation, because you can literally meet your spirit guide. You can do like some crazy shit.
Yeah, like I want to ask you about that, but I'll just finish up what happened. But like, so my legs started getting pulled like into the ground, and my arms like just stretched out. I wasn't doing this. I was just flowing with the energy, just doing whatever.
Wow. Yeah, you gotta let go.
Exactly. And my head tilted back, and I felt like I was literally becoming the ground. I was becoming the earth. And the message from that was just like bringing me back to oneness, but physically.
Yeah, because we are one. We are everything. That is.
Yeah.
I also want to talk about like the connectedness of nature and all the symmetry and how trees look like nerves and stuff. But continue on.
Yes. Oh my God. Me too. Yes. But it was just like a physical presentation for me of how we are connected to everything and we are one. And it was such an amazing experience.
Awesome.
Yeah, but yes, let's talk about that. Like, what is it called? Like fractals and like all
like
of that stuff.
I forget
Sacred geometry and stuff.
Yeah, sacred geometry. How, literally, your eyes look like galaxies. Exactly. A lot of people think that we are the universe experiencing itself, And just because of how perfect nature is compared to us, it's just amazing. That's why I think it's important to get into nature. If you're ever feeling depressed or anything, just go into nature and breathe.
Definitely. Because you're just coming back to that. You're coming back to source. You're coming back to that oneness. And I'm on my YouTube. I'm going to link some pictures of like the eyes compared to the universe, like veins compared to trees, all that stuff. But you are just, if you really dive into it, you see all of these patterns that are present in everything that you're looking at. And
the higher intelligence.
And yes, that's what you're seeing. Like, a lot of the times we talk about higher intelligence, divine intelligence, but now you're actually physically seeing that right in front of you. Like, and in this book I was reading, I think it was in Becoming Supernatural by Joe Dispenza. It talks about like fractals and sacred geometry, which is basically just this perfect mathematical formula that you see in everything. You see in you see in the trees, you see in your broccoli, you see in flowers, you see in your veins. It's all here, and you are seeing it is like a physical representation of infinity. I'll link some pictures. I recommend you guys looking this up.
I don't think people realize enough that we are that higher intelligence. Like we are nature, and you look at how perfect and amazing it is. Like people just like are looking at sunsets and are like, wow, that's amazing. But that's really us. It's the same thing that made us. So it's just
you. It's you. Like, exactly, all the beauty that you're seeing, it's you. It's all a reflection of you. Like, and once you learn more about fractals and these patterns, and you see them in yourself, you're like, whoa, okay. This
it's not a coincidence.
it changes perspective of who you are. Yeah, it's not a coincidence at all. You see who you truly are for the first time.
And a lot of people will see that in meditation. They'll see that sacred geometry, and that's what's really crazy to me, is that it's in our minds too, in our brains.
It's everywhere. Have you ever experienced that in a meditation?
I have. I've experienced that with external something that I took, and I closed my eyes and saw just the most amazing shapes and just crazy stuff that I could understand, but it wasn't words, you know?
How could you understand it? Like what?
I could not tell you, but I could, my brain could comprehend it, but it wasn't. I was looking at it and it was just shapes, but I could tell it was telling me something.
Wow, that's amazing. What was the message, do you feel, that you got?
Well, I don't totally understand it, I think, but it was along the lines of just presence, and then not thinking too much, and just being present throughout life, and everything will come to you.
It all ties back.
But
it's just so cool to me. Like everything is just a cycle, and it all connects. It's amazing. I haven't experienced that in a meditation.
Yeah, you should. I mean, you got to go really deep for that, but sometimes even looking at the sun can do that. Have you ever sun gazed?
Yes, I do sometimes. Not much.
Yeah, so sometimes I can do it too. But
yeah, talk about sun gazing. Like, what is sun gazing? Like, what benefits does it have?
All right, I can tell you a little story that may help you understand. But so I was at this like party. I think it was a graduation party. I was outside, and I was kind of feeling low energy, and I just decided to start staring into the sun. don't do this during the day. Do it when like the sun is about to set. And I just started to feel like incredible energy inside me just from staring at the sun. And I was like, wow, okay, this actually works. And I could actually feel the sun's energy inside of me just from staring at it. And there's a lot of like ancient things about the sun and, you know, the Egyptians that did it and other cultures, but in that moment it gave me energy, and that's why
It gives you energy. Okay.
and I've heard it upgrades your DNA, which I can't feel that, but I'm sure it does.
Yeah, like whenever I'm feeling, I mean, just think about it. On a really nice sunny day, everything's feeling good, sun's out, like you have more energy than on the days where it's all cloudy and dreamy.
Yeah, exactly.
Like a lot of the times, it can just make you feel so much better.
Oh yeah, the sun makes you feel amazing. Just go take a nap in the sun, and you will wake up feeling like God.
Yes, it's like it's all just coming back to nature. Right? We keep talking about that and emphasizing it, but a lot of the times, like people, if you suffer from a mental illness or like suffering mentally, like it's getting back in nature, like practicing sun gazing, and it can really help you. You're amazing. How did you acquire all of this information at such a young age?
It just kind of came to me. A lot of YouTube, actually. A lot of YouTube, a lot of books. And I just got obsessed with learning this. But yeah, just kind of came.
When did it start? Like, when did you start your growth journey, do you feel?
This is my second year of it. So last year I had a full year of just learning. But I'm nowhere near where I want to be.
Where do you want to be? What's your end goal for you?
Well, just knowledge. A knowledge sponge. I just want to know everything. I think there's a lot of knowledge out there that people don't know. That's really important and should be taught in schools, but it's not.
Definitely.
That's another reason why I'm making videos, because it's not taught in school.
Yes, exactly. Like, there's so much information that we need to know that we're just not being taught. Like, if you are someone who, I think a lot of people are aware of this. A lot of people are aware of, like, we're really not taught anything that we're going to use in the future. Like, this isn't really important information. So if you have this awareness, go and teach yourself.
YouTube.
Go and
YouTube
teach
is
yourself.
literally all you need.
Exactly. Like, you have the access to so much information right here. Listening to a podcast.
Yeah, just listen to this podcast and you will be enlightened.
Oh my god, I love it. Listen to this podcast. That's all you gotta do.
And like, for instance, something I didn't know like a year ago was that 95% of your serotonin is manufactured in your gut. And people don't understand that the food they feed you is just a business. It's not meant to be healthy for you. And so by eating that stuff, it's actually impacting your mood. It's making you feel bad. So really watch what you're eating. And I didn't realize that a year ago. So
yeah, I think it's so common. Like, we're not given good food at schools. The cheapest food is McDonald's, just fast food stuff. The things that are
Doritos with red 40 in it. If you do some research on red 40, it's literally poison.
What is that? I don't know about that.
Red 40. You see it, it's a food dye, but it causes ADHD and anxiety. And there's a lot of other ingredients that I don't really know much about, but I'll probably learn more in the future. But I mean, a lot of it's poison.
Wow.
What was that?
I was just saying, wow, Jesus, like.
Yeah.
It's
really.
so.
really be aware of what you're putting in your body.
Yeah, it overrides like your heart and your mind. So no matter how good emotionally you're feeling, or like how your positive thoughts, your gut, what you're putting into your body is gonna override that. And if you are someone that is wanting to manifest, wanting to attract their best life, reach their goals, like you realize that your energy plays a big part in that.
Yeah.
If you're eating all of these bad foods that are just completely throwing you off track and imbalancing you, like that's gonna play a part. That's gonna hinder you in your growth to success.
And even with like how like weightlifting is trending right now, it's just if you wanna look good, watch what you're eating. Like even the water that we drink, I mean, it has fluoride in it, and fluoride is what calcifies your pineal gland. You can do your research on that. I suggest getting a water filter.
Elaborate on that. Like, I've been hearing this recently in like one of the books that I'm reading. It talks about that and how, like, what is fluoride and how does that affect you?
I'm not too up to date on the science of it. I mean, I don't want to say too much about it, but it is in your water. And there's also other stuff like arsenic, which is also terrible for you. Or even like processed meats. Processed meats are a class 1 carcinogen, which is cigarettes are in that. So again, just do your research, be careful what you're eating.
Because a lot of the times we don't think about it. We are really selective about the information that we're putting in our minds, our practices that we do. If we are watching the wrong things, you should
question everything also. You gotta question everything.
Yeah.
Don't take everything on TikTok like for truth. Like you never know.
What we're saying.
You never know if it's true.
Literally,
or
this is just a perspective.
The news.
Just a perspective. Do your research. Come up with your own opinions. Like,
yep.
So important to do that. And
I think we should talk about the news maybe too.
Yeah, what's your opinion on it?
I hate it.
You hate it?
It is literally just people have it on in the background in their house, and all the news is talking is making you fearful. Like they just talk. The news is all about negative energy, all the negative things that are happening around the world, making it worse than it actually seems, and it is programming you because it's in the background.
Yeah.
Everything you watch, everything you listen to. And is all the news actually factual? We don't know. We don't know.
Exactly. It's so negative. Like, oh my god, it's crazy. And it's funny that everyone watches it.
Everyone.
It's something that everyone has to do. Everyone's gonna watch it. So if you think of someone that has that power and they know every single person is gonna be watching this, like, that's kind of scary in itself.
Yeah, no kidding.
You just have to be very aware of what you're feeding your mind. If you're meditating, visualizing, doing all this, but like are watching the news, putting a bunch of negativity into your mind, like it's harming.
Yeah, I don't think people realize how bad negativity is. It just completely changes your mood. That's why if I'm ever in a fight, I choose to keep my energy. I'm not gonna fight you. I'm not gonna have those negative emotions. I'm gonna keep my energy. It's like dumping out a full glass if you take in negativity.
Yeah, it's like all that work that you're doing is for nothing. Like, and it ties all into like what we were talking about earlier with like the law of attraction. You're attracting from your
Yep.
subconscious and from your energy. So if you're feeding your subconscious negative things, and your energy is now vibrating on that negative wavelength, it's only gonna reflect back
Yep.
to you in your reality. It's like if you're only thinking about this stuff. I mean, just think about it. Like, all you think about is what's shown to you. So it's so life is a mirror to
Yeah.
your mind and your subconscious. So
People
so
don't realize the power of
important.
your mind. The book I'm reading right now,
Yeah.
it's called You Were the Placebo. It's by Joe Dispenza.
Oh yes, I've heard of
People
that
heal
one.
themselves just from their thoughts, and just for thinking that it will heal them, it heals them. So, and then another thing I was reading in the book, it was they brought like a group of 80-year-old men to an island, and they told them to start acting like how they were in their 20s, and then they told the control group of 80-year-olds to just go to the island and do their thing. The group that was acting like they were 20 came out, and their arthritis was healed. All their, they were healed. They were feeling like they were 20. Their bodies were actually responding to them thinking that they were 20. So the power of your
Like,
mind.
that is insane to me. Oh, it's crazy how you're
Mhm.
able to affect your world and your body and your health just from the power of your mind. No one really knows about their mind. Like, no one really understands that, right?
And they don't wanna, which is
Like,
weird to
a lot
me.
of people, I guess like family members are like, oh, it's cool that you're into like psychology and all that stuff. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
why aren't you? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it is deeper than that.
Exactly. It's so more than just like, oh, being into whatever, spirituality, being into psychology, whatever. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, you're understanding the laws
It's
of
literally the
universe.
secrets of life.
It's the secrets
Is
of
what
life.
it's absurd.
Exactly. And we are not taught it. We're not taught it. So what
Yeah.
have you learned about, like, what made you start learning about your mind and your subconscious and all of this? Like, what started that for you?
It really is hard to say. I think.
Mhm.
I mean, I was kind of in a low state before I started learning it. I was kind of like, I don't know, I didn't have a lot of friends. I was like like just in a low state, and maybe that's what triggered it. But I have no idea. It honestly came out of nowhere. So
Yeah.
I don't know if that's happening for other people, and that's why I'm spreading it. But it was really weird. Just kind of,
Mhm.
and then I started learning YouTube and everything, just because almost like my mind told me to. But it was,
Mhm.
and then I just got addicted to like learning
Mhm.
that stuff, because like it does improve your life.
Definitely.
So
Incredibly. Like, I think if you are wanting to heal, if you have goals, you want the best out of your life, you need to start learning about your subconscious mind, your mind, and this will change everything for you. It's not really just something that you're
yeah,
just into. It's like, this is gonna change. You perceive every
yeah.
single thing.
It's not just a phase. It's like
It's not a phase.
it has completely changed my life.
Yeah, exactly. I love it. Okay. I wanted to ask you this. I saw it on your TikTok. On one of your TikToks, you're talking about pain body, and I've never heard of that. What is it?
hmm Okay, the pain body is what is. It can actually be built up like from past lives, but like women have a big pain body because they were mistreated, generations ago, and that since energy can't be destroyed or created, it's still carried, and some I mean, I haven't learned too much about this again, so I don't want to talk too much, but like a baby can be born and sometimes it will cry more than other babies because it has a bigger pain body. It was just reincarnated by an energy that had a big pain body. Maybe had a past life that was mistreated or something. But kind of the easier way to understand pain body is like, I would just say, if you don't believe in reincarnation, I would just say, like, in your past experiences, you were experiencing stuff that triggered your ego and you buried it. You didn't deal with it. You buried that negativity, and it's gonna keep coming up, and it might come out in a totally randomly out of nowhere. It might just come out, or it might keep staying in there and keep building up. That's what I understand of it.
So is it like these emotions are getting represented as like pain in your body?
Yeah,
Or
and it can actually cause
okay.
disease. I mean, it is blockages of negative energy inside your body,
Mhm.
and it has been. It can. That's why some people have diseases and doctors have no idea how they have it. It's because they have blockages inside through energetic blockages.
See, that's always so interesting to me to learn about. Like,
Yeah, and I still need to
I mean,
learn, about that. But
yeah, we're always learning. But our body is showing to us that something needs to change. Like, you can get like sores or little blisters or whatever that come up when you're in like a traumatic
yeah,
situation. Like, I get headaches when I'm upset. Like, if you're just realizing these small little things of how your body, like butterflies in your stomach when you're nervous,
yeah,
or when you're excited, like all these little things, like it's showing you,
and
okay,
even how you can,
yeah, it does have an effect.
yeah, and even how you can like feel the energy in a room when you walk in, or you can
Yeah.
maybe you can feel when someone's lying or something. It's all energy.
Mhm. And so that kind of bridges that gap between like, that's not true. Like, it can't have that much of an effect. But if you just recognize these little ways on how they're affecting you, like, you're seeing the power of your mind once again.
And kind of if how those blockages are made is hanging on to things that don't really matter. So like an example of a blockage would be like if you see your ex's car and every time you kind of get in a bad state, just from seeing a car, that's a blockage. And to get rid of it, you just have to let go. Just let it pass through you, or else it'll
True.
keep burying itself down.
That acceptance and non-judgment. Okay, I wanted to ask you, like, what got you into spirituality? Like, was that just something that came from like self-growth, or what sparked that?
Again, I think it came out of completely nowhere, but it also does connect with self-growth. And I'm not a big religion guy.
Mhm.
I mean, I did used to believe in God when I was younger, and I was Christian, but I never really saw the effects of it until spirituality, and I actually saw the effects. I felt the effects, and that's why I believe in it,
Mhm.
because I'm living proof that it works.
Like,
Well, I don't know if I am, but I will be.
you will be. Like, how does spirituality differ from like Christianity or like other religions? It's not really a religion. So like, what's the
Yeah,
difference, do you think?
yeah. I think because it is like about improving yourself, and I don't know, it's just so different. Like it's talking about energy and all this stuff that actually works and is real. But people that, I don't want to talk too much, but people that believe in God and heaven and hell, like they're living in a state of
And
fear
duality.
because they're afraid of sinning, and it's just kind of not that great. And to believe in a man-made thing, I don't know how I feel about it.
Yeah, it's interesting. It is a touchy subject, but like I don't mind. We can dive into it. But yeah, especially with heaven and hell, it's like such duality. Such duality. You're either a good person,
It is.
you're a bad person,
Yeah.
you're good. Like it's crazy. You think about it, like
Yeah. And then they fight other religions too. It's just
it's supposed to be a positive thing. It's supposed to be.
like they all think they're right, but it's just there's one higher intelligence. Like,
I think maybe I don't know if it's Hinduism or religion like kind of accepts all other religions like gods or
yeah, Hinduism or Buddhism, I don't know.
yeah, but it like
I don't really know.
it's just so separating and dividing, and I think like that is a difference for spirituality because it doesn't really limit anyone's beliefs. Like if you are Christian or believe in God, like you can still like dive into spirituality, but it's just like not putting this God or whatever on a pedestal and living in fear.
Yeah. It's putting you on a pedestal, which I think is important. It's you know, there's God in everybody.
Yes. Okay, that is a huge difference between like spirituality and other religions, like because you're saying that you are
have
divine.
the power. Like you don't have to rely on this person. Like
yeah, you are God in itself. You are the divine creator.
and yeah, that comes in like realizing how much power we do have.
Yeah, that's like a lot of difference right there. You are just realizing who you actually are. And that's what it is all about, like manifesting or whatever. It's just showing the power of your mind and the power of you. And not a lot of other religions do that at all.
And like you said, sorry, one more thing is how separating it is, and that just goes back to media. You know, the political parties. It's just like they talk about that nonstop, and it's separating. We're not separate. We're equal. We're all one. So
yes, it all ties back. Okay, I think that is a good place to end.
Yeah.
And this is gonna be a great episode. Like I'm so excited.
Okay.
Thank you for tuning in. That is the new perspective.
That is the new perspective. That was fire.